Hi English 110 students. I wanted to give a few tips about thesis statements and outlines because that's an upcoming assignment. So for your thesis statement for the research essay, your goal is to preview the content of your paper and also present a claim. And by claim, I mean your analysis of the issue. So you can think about your thesis like a roadmap for your reader. It gives them a sense of what to expect in your essay, and it might even also preview the structure of your essay. It doesn't necessarily have to, but often it does. So you've chosen a social issue or an environmental issue, and as you think about the structure, you can write an argument paper. You can write a pro-con style essay if you feel like there's really strong points to be made on either side of an issue. That's totally fine. You don't have to give them equal weight even if you do write a pro-con essay, but you absolutely could. You can do a cause-effect analysis. This is where you're exploring what's creating an issue. What are some of the factors contributing to the issue? Or you can write a problem-solution essay. So you have some choices. What you want to focus on is having a very clear structure. This makes it really easy for the reader to fully absorb and follow your ideas. So as you're planning it, everything is going to connect back to your thesis statement. So your topic sentences, which will be expressing your main point of each paragraph, should connect back to your thesis statement. I want to talk a little bit about some thesis statements that are weak and how you could improve them. So this is an example of a weak thesis statement. African American teenagers are more likely to be arrested or treated with excessive force by police officers than white teenagers. So you might wonder what the problem is here. One of the problems is that it doesn't really feel like a claim. It doesn't feel like it's analyzing the how or the what. So what you could do then is you could offer some reasons. Now you're analyzing what's causing this because of these reasons. Because you can prove this just with facts. We could look at data and say, yes, African American teenagers are arrested more often. So it's not enough to just say that. We want to explore maybe some reasons why, or your thesis might explore some solutions. We can begin to solve this by X and Y. Here is another thesis statement that's not so great. This paper will explore the legalization of physician-assisted suicide in California. And the problem here is when you make an announcement like this paper will, it makes it so that you don't have to actually give your reader a preview of the content. So instead, you want to indicate your position on physician-assisted suicide, which is legal in California. So you want to explore why it's legal, why it should be legal, why it shouldn't be legal, analyze what led it to become legal, something that is more detailed. This thesis has kind of the same problem. It is a claim, right? We should address the housing shortage in Santa Barbara, but it doesn't really preview the why or the how. So it's not detailed enough. So this is another example. Why do poor families feed their children unhealthy food? So that is just a question, and your thesis statement should present your answer to a question. So you can think about it that way as well. I wanted to look at some thesis statements from past students, from past student voices. So here's one that's excellent. We can see that it gives a really clear sense of what the paper is going to be about. The pharmaceutical industry's deceptive painkiller marketing and doctors' practices of overprescribing have created a growing epidemic throughout the United States that is sending a large number of individuals down the fatal path of addiction. To help this crisis, an increase in prevention and treatment measures must be adopted by healthcare professionals and enforced by the government. So reading this thesis, it's longer, but it's very clear. I know exactly what the student writer's position is. I know why she thinks this problem originated, and I also can see that her essay is going to focus on solutions. Here is another one. This is on the topic of food waste. The U.S. government needs to adopt this course of action and work at both the national and state levels in reducing food waste by educating farms and grocery stores of the laws and tax breaks that are already in existence and creating additional incentive plans in order to encourage businesses to donate food to aid nonprofit agencies. Individuals must evaluate their awareness as they can make a difference by reducing food waste in their own homes, volunteering in programs such as produce cleaning of farms, and becoming informed as to how to donate to food banks. So in reading this thesis statement, I can see the writer's position on food waste, but I can also see that she's really focusing on presenting a lot of solutions. So a problem-solution structure. So that is excellent. So another way to think of your thesis statement is as an answer to your research questions. So we read that article from the LA Times, which was, "Why do poor Americans eat so unhealthfully?" And this author's answer was because junk food is the only indulgence they can afford. So that was her position. So according to this author, the main reasons that poor Americans eat so unhealthfully is for emotional reasons. And some of you wrote really great responses on the discussion boards saying she's leaving out other arguments, and that's true. So if you were writing about this question, your argument might be analyzing the why in a different way. You might say food deserts is a main contributor to why poor families feed their children unhealthy food. Or you might say the two most important reasons are access and education. So you could analyze this problem, the social problem, in a different way. And that's what makes the research essay interesting, is people disagree about why certain situations exist, and they disagree about what the solutions are. So two students could write on the same topic and have different arguments. So what I want you to think about is what you think you'll argue at this point. So it's fine to think about your thesis statement being your opinion, your reasoned academic opinion supported by evidence. But this can definitely change. You're still in the writing process and the research process, and it's a recursive process, so you're going to be changing things. And ideally, it will become a bit more detailed and maybe will also shift. So for now, what you're doing is writing a working thesis statement. It's just your thesis statement for now. And then what you want to do is think about your topic sentences and sections in your essay, if you have section headers, connecting back to your thesis. So here's an example about homelessness. In order to tackle this monumental problem, there's a need for us to recast homelessness as a moral concern instead of simply a housing issue, which will instruct policy changes that create long-term solutions that protect vulnerable members of the population in an unforgivingly capitalist and increasingly globalized world. So there's that thesis statement that we need to look at homelessness as a moral failure and create solutions. And then you can see like the main points that this student wrote about all connect back to that thesis statement. So this is a problem solution essay. You don't have to write in that structure, but as you're outlining, keep in mind that you want to have your topic sentences really have a keyword or key idea that connects back to your thesis statement. So as you work on your working thesis statement and your outline, just write as strong a thesis statement as you can. If you have any concerns, check in with me, but I'll also give you some feedback, and focus on writing strong topic sentences. If you haven't already, please look over the guidelines for a research essay, which I'll include a link for in the instruction page here. And there's also a template on Canvas that I'd like you to use. So thanks for watching this short video, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with for your working theses and outlines.